right, I guess we'll proceed from here. Thank you to everyone who has joined this call and welcome to today's session titled Young, Woke, and Investing with Elijah Rona from AssessWorth. It's really nice to have you all join us, and I hope we find this session beneficial to all of us. Thank you. And on to the next slide, we're going to this is the welcome and agenda grounding. Welcome all of you for joining this call. Wisdom, please, on to the next slide. So we're going to talk about the safety and ground principles. I'm going to read it out. From personal safety, it is not safe to join while driving. So please make sure you're in a safe space. You're not driving any kind of vehicle. Make sure you are joining from a safe place, maybe the comfort of your house or a room, just a place where you're sure is safe. And then ergonomically relaxing space where you're properly relaxed, you're not under any sort of tension and you're not busy. Make sure you're properly relaxed so that you can have all the benefits of this session. And then for the ground principles, be ready to learn and collaborate because this is going to be a very, very exciting session. Kindly ensure your mic is muted when speaking, except when speaking. So if we point you out and maybe you raise a hand when a question is asked, we will unmute you. But other than that, make sure your mic is muted so the call will not be intercepted. And then use the raise hand button if you have any question or you have anything to say. When the floor will be open for everyone to ask their question directly to Mr. Elijah. So make sure you use the hand raise icon and then make use of the chat box as well. So make sure you drop all your questions, dilemmas, learning times, and make sure you use the chat box for all sorts of communication because we'll always go back to read the messages. Thank you very much. Wisdom, on to the next slide. So now I'm going to give the session to Elijah to tell us more about investment.
Hi, Justina. Good evening. Please help confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Good evening. Good evening. It's nice to see the beautiful faces. So today we'll be talking about investments properly. We'll be looking at different asset classes such as treasury bills, bonds, stocks, etc. It promises to be an excellent session, educating as well. But most important, because we are not here for theory, we're not here to write exams. It's practical work, rewards, and numbers. And so for the content, you just get a ground breaking on what investment is. So the what buys a house, and some cautions, some reasons why you should or should invest. While we look properly at assets, we are looking at stocks, bonds, treasury bills, etc. So let's get started. So what is investment? Simply put, investment, some people use invest and save interchangeably. However, invest is best used with this phrase, delayed gratification. So to invest simply means that you let go of your money or you let go of something that you should be consuming today. Instead of consuming it today, you let it go for a future date. Now you could say, it's the same thing as saving. Instead of spending the 1,000 naira that I am with, instead of using it to buy suya, for example, I keep it in my bank account. Then I get it some other time. That is delayed, right? But now the gratification here implies that you hope to get higher. So with saving, you don't necessarily hope to get higher. So when you save 1,000, perhaps in your box, in your piggy bank, you have 1,000 in 10 years' time. But with investing, we hope to get higher, more. So that is simply what investing is, education. Now, why should we invest? Number one reason is financial discipline. And I'll tell you why I say this is the number one reason. With my own experience. So when I just started work after school, I was doing some remote jobs, right? Yeah, money did come. Like I had multiple jobs. Money was coming. But the thing is that even if money was coming, I will still have to, it's more like hand to mouth scenario, right? Because if you do not plan how to use the money and the money is coming, trust me, that money will still go exhausted. Like you will finish that money and you will not know where the money went to. So with financial discipline, it implies that before any specific amount comes, you already know where you want to put that amount. So this is where investment comes into place. Most of us must have read the book The Richest Man in Babylon that suggests 20% of your monthly income. For those of us who are Christians, we know around 10% of our income as the case may be. So now we invest so that at least we know where our money is going to. Now the second one is compounding wealth. Please, please look at my screen or look at your screen. Let me show you something. Most of us here may be students. So in the AssessWorth platform, we'll talk more about this later. There's this calculator page. It's quite good, right? Select this future value you are seeing here. So let's say you have, no, you do not have any amounts now, right? But you hope to be investing monthly. You hope to be investing the sum of 10,000 naira monthly. So with the reason I'm using 10,000 here, I believe many of us here are students. And for those of us who are no longer students, we must have be wishing now that we knew how to invest while in school. Just imagine that you've been investing consistently, monthly, for 5 years. So let's say, yes, 5 years at an annual rate of around 25%. So if you are investing 10,000 monthly for 5 years at 25%, by the time you'll be done with school, you have close to 1.2 million waiting for you. That's it. Now, this is putting the fact that you are not investing now, you are waiting until the end of the month. So what if you say you want to invest now, right? That's 10,000, right? You have over 1.2 million waiting for you. Now, I know that some students can actually do more than 10,000. So, as you can see here, but now just imagine you are saving, right? So 10,000 times 12 months times 5 years, it's definitely not up to this. That should be around 600,000. So as you can see, investing helps you compound your wealth. Okay, so the next one is beating inflation. Now, okay, see an example here. I have 1,000 naira. Then I kept this 1,000 naira in a fixed deposit account, maybe the one offered by Alert or the one offered by Piggy Best, as the case may be. So you just lock that money there, right? So, or maybe even in your bank. At the end of the year, they give you your 1,000 naira because you want to be disciplined when it comes to saving. The question now is that if you had used this 1,000 naira to buy a gadget, maybe you bought a small earpiece with it or whatever you used it, do you think that by the end of this year or exactly 1 year away from now, do you think that that same 1,000 that your fixed deposit will be given back to you, can it buy that same item you bought for 1,000 naira today? Considering the present situation of things in Nigeria, it's a capital no. It's completely no. So we invest so that we can beat inflation, so we can get extra. right? Now you could also be saving for a target. This one will excite. Sorry, sorry, please excuse me. Please, anyone, please confirm that you can hear me. Can anyone hear me?
I can
All
hear
right,
you.
thank you. Okay, so just imagine for those of us who are already working, let's look at saving for a target, right? So yes, those of us who are already working, perhaps we have a pension or something. So your goal, for example, maybe is to get up to 10 million naira, which is so you want to have 10 million naira, right? And currently you have like 100,000 naira that you've saved up to. You also want to be contributing monthly. Maybe monthly you want to be bringing like 20,000 naira, right? At a rate of 25%. You see, by February 16, 2035, I think 10 years from now, you'll get your 10 million because of this investment. I mean, this rate. Just imagine that you are saving 20,000 naira monthly. How many years do you think, plus your 100,000 that you have now, how many years do you think it will take for you to get up to 10 million? So there are so many reasons why you should invest. Is it passive income? There's a family I was helping them to advise them regarding what they should invest in. They saw, I think it was last week when they saw a profit of around 135,000 or so. They were so happy. So these are some reasons why we invest. Now, how do you invest? Yeah, it's simply, I actually gave you an example on how to invest earlier when I told you you can buy that earpiece. So what if you just buy and sell the earpiece? You buy it today, you sell it next year. But some of us are not, right, are not sellers. We are not marketers per se. So what if you look for people who buy and sell earpiece, you invest in their business, or you lend them the money, or you go and look for ways to be doing and bring two people. There are different ways to invest. Now, why should we not just invest in whatsoever we see? For example, bring two people. There are some risks you should consider. The first risk is liquidity risk. Let's go back to the fixed deposits we made mention of. So let's give an example. We all know PiggyVest, CarryWise, Alert, etc. They have these options where you can lock your money. Then at the end of the year or whatever duration you choose, they give you your money back with interest. But the thing now is that you may be faced with one very serious emergency. You can't withdraw that money, right? So that's a risk. What about working for your money? Some organizations will tell you, bring money. Then when you bring money, for your money to become double or triple, bring two people. So you are literally working for your money. Or what if you borrow your money out to someone? The person promises extra returns, but then at the end of the year, the person fails to give you anything. Or what if you are investing in what you simply do not understand? So to help you mitigate all these risks, we usually advise that you start with conventional asset classes, which are the foundations or reasons for this meeting, this session we are having currently. And the major examples are stocks, bonds, treasury bills, mutual funds, and some others. So let's look at them well. To buy a stock, it simply means that you are becoming a part owner of your preferred company. I gave you the example of someone else who buys and sells. You decide to give the person money. Now, you could say that you are borrowing the person money, but that is not buying the person's stock. Buying the person's stock simply means that you are now a part owner of that business. So instead of the person giving you back your money at the end of the year, the both of you will share the profits when there's a profit. However, if there's a loss, the both of you will share in the loss as well. Now, there are multiple stocks in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have over 152 stocks. In the United States, we have over 12,000 stocks. In fact, more. On AssessWorth, you could come on AssessWorth and search for any stock of your choice. We have Tesla. So when you see Tesla,
the current price of Tesla is $330, right? We are seeing on average, Tesla has been giving a return of 21.99%, which is around 22% annually. Tesla has no dividends, right? We could look at, let's say, Fidelity Bank or no, GT Bank. It's a very popular Nigerian bank. So looking at GT Bank currently, it's around 97 naira per share currently. GT Bank on average annually has been giving around 31.5%. And GT Bank has dividend yield of 17.67%. What this simply means is that if you had invested in GT Bank exactly 1 year ago from today, maybe you bought GT Bank 10,000 naira worth of shares, they would have given you around 700 and something naira in dividend. Now, just imagine if you invest 10 million or you invest, it's actually a whole lot for these stocks. Now, some disadvantages of stocks, like I mentioned earlier, you will surely share in the returns, in the profits of the company. But what if the company makes a loss? You also have to bear the loss. There are two major ways to gain from stocks. Number one, capital appreciation. This is when you buy the stock, for example, you buy GT Bank stock today for 97 naira, then you hope that in a year time or in 2 or 3 years time, the stock becomes 150, 200, 250 as the case may be, then you can sell. Now, unlike many other asset classes such as cryptocurrency, which we all know, for stocks, you could also get dividend payments. So dividend simply means if GT Bank makes 100 billion in profits this year, they can decide to withdraw 30 billion or 40 billion out of that 100 billion, then give this 40 billion that they've withdrawn back to their investors. So if you are a co-investor of GT Bank, you will gain from the dividend of GT Bank, and that is where you saw that 17.6% or so. What about bonds? Now, bonds is like the other way of, sorry, please excuse me. Okay, now bonds is like the other way of funding these businesses, right? We could give business money to become a part owner of the business, or we could give the business money to lend them money. So in this case, we are not necessarily part owners. We are not sharing in their profits, neither are we sharing in their loss. We are giving them money and we hope to get our money back in, with extra interest as the case may be. Now, bond is not specific or peculiar to companies or businesses alone. You could also give the government money, right? And when you are borrowing money to the government, it's called government bonds. When you are borrowing money to companies, it's called corporate bonds, as the case may be. Please excuse me for a few minutes. Yeah, sorry for the break in transmission. So sorry for the break in transmission. Okay, so how do you get money from bonds? It's from interest, apparently. So you give, for example, GT Bank, you borrow them money with bonds. First of all, let's explain it, please, from the point of the company. Just imagine that you are a business owner, right? And you need money. You need like 100 billion for expansion of this your business. Now you know that if you go to a bank and you tell them that you need 100 billion, considering how big it is, they may not want to give you this money. So instead of 100 billion, right? What if instead of one bank, what if you find a way to meet 1 million investors? All right. So instead of meeting one bank, what if you meet 1 million investors? Please, okay, you can see my screen. Now you meet 1 million investors instead of one bank. So the one bank would have given you 1 billion, as the case may be. Let's say it's 1 billion you want to borrow. But considering that you've met 1 million investors as a business owner, each investor can give you like 1,000 naira, right? So 1,000 times 1 million, right? That's 1 billion. So this is the rationale behind bonds. So bonds are like debt, but instead of borrowing or instead of lending the company 100% of what they are looking for, you are giving them units of what they are looking for, right? So it's the same thing with government. Currently in Nigeria, we have some bonds and stuff. You could also see the current bonds in AssessWorth. So when you are in AssessWorth platform, come to this investment hub, right? So in this investment hub, in the offerings, currently there are no offerings, bonds that are available, but you can see some expired ones. So just in case you want to see the new ones, you want to get alert, you can simply set notification for bots. When you set this notification, anytime there's a new bond, you be well informed. So this one is the FGN savings bond. I wanted to give 16% per annum. This one 17% per annum. So the question is that when we were looking at stocks such as Tesla, Fidelity, GTBank, we were seeing compounding rates of around 31%, 20-something percent. But now bonds, we are seeing 15%, 16%. Why are bonds lower in returns? Simply put, it is the riskiness of it. Remember, in stocks, we said that if anything goes south, you share in the loss because you are a business owner. So in the profits, you share. In the loss, you share. But in the case of bonds, the company will try to pay you back. As a matter of fact, if companies want to become, are filing for bankruptcy or they want to just be liquidated, as the case may be, a bond owner or a borrower will get their money back before they will even consider stockholders, as the case may be. Now, that's for bonds. You get your money from interest. Treasury bills are still very much similar to bonds. However, we said that bonds can be issued by government and companies, as the case may be. For treasury bills, when you hear the term treasury, whenever you hear treasury, whether treasury bill or treasury notes or treasury, anything, treasury bonds, it's peculiar, it's specific to the government. So it's the government that offer these treasury bills. The other distinguishing factor of treasury bills is that they are short term. They are never over 1 year. They are always maybe 90 days, 180 days, 360 days, as the case may be. So they are short-term government bonds. Simply put, they still give you interest, maybe 15% interest, 16% interest, as the case may be. You can buy treasury bills from apps such as Bamboo, as the case may be. Now, the question is that, what if you want to buy stock, or no, you want to buy bonds, or you really don't know what you want to buy? This is where mutual funds come into play for you. So mutual funds are designed to help you invest in multiple securities or assets at once. So when you buy a mutual fund, it will be as if you are buying multiple stocks at once. Let's go back to stock. We gave the example of Tesla, we gave the example of GTBank and also Fidelity Bank. Now, which one should you buy? Oh, so you want to buy all of them, but now you do not have enough money for all of them. You have just $100, for example, and this your $100 still won't be enough to even buy only one Tesla share. Or you want to invest in stocks, but you also want to mitigate risk, so you also want to invest in bonds. If that's the case, you could go for mutual funds. They have multiple assets. It's like a basket of securities. So when you buy mutual funds, you are literally buying multiple assets at once. And they offer returns according, different mutual funds have what they offer, but most of them give dividends and capital appreciation. Now we have other types of investments. Mind you, if you have questions, you could be noting them down, please. We have other types of investment. We also have types of mutual funds that I would love us to look at. So we have some types of mutual funds, right? The first and most common ones are the money market funds. These money market funds are mutual funds that specifically invest in short-term and very risk minimal securities. So we are looking at treasury bills, we are looking at commercial papers, etc. So commercial papers are simple, just the way we said treasury bills are short-term government bonds. That is how commercial papers are short-term corporate bonds, right? So mutual funds invest in these securities. So you may want to ask, why should I not just buy the treasury bills at once? Or why should I not buy the commercial papers at once? Thank you. All right, so many commercial papers, most commercial papers, you need a minimum of 5 million naira to invest in them. For most treasury bills, if you want to buy directly from the government, you need to be a high net worth individual. And because most treasury bills from the CBN, they require a minimum of around 50 million or so. So with money market funds, you can buy these money market funds, right, which is a mutual fund. It will now use your money, add it to the money of other investors, then buy these securities, right? We have some money market funds in AssessWorth. So when you are in AssessWorth, if you can see my screen, please, just search for, you can search for money markets like this. Money markets. You'll see multiple money market funds, different ones, right? They are all here. So if you want to go for maybe Stanbic IBTC money market funds, right? It's here. You see it here. So Stanbic IBTC money market funds currently they are giving around 19.43% per annum, as the case may be. We have other types of mutual funds, such as equity funds. These are funds that invest in stocks, as the case may be. Now we have real estate investment trusts. For many of us here, when we hear the term investing, we mostly think about is going to buy land, waiting for the land to appreciate. Yes, that is perfectly fine. But remember the risks we discussed earlier. One is liquidity risk. So in real estate, there are some lands that are disputed. Some properties are disputed. Why? You did not make your research properly. You just bought that land. Now your money is trapped. You cannot sell the land. As a matter of fact, in fact, there are spiritual problems for those of us who believe in those things. Real estate investment trusts are mutual funds that buy real estate products and either sell them or rent them out. That is where you get your money from. So when you invest in any real estate investment trust, right, that is this REIT you are seeing here, they will add your money to the money of other investors, then use this money to buy some offices, some land, some, different places, as the case may be. Now, maybe weeks, months to years later, they sell these properties or they rent them out, as the case may be. So it's the proceeds from this renting or the sales, that is where you get your capital appreciation or you get your dividends. We have the Sharia compliant funds. These are funds, if anyone is Muslim here, right? Because of the Islamic principles, you cannot invest in companies that, borrow. You cannot invest in companies that produce cigarettes or, all these things. So if you want to invest based on your faith, we have these mutual funds here for you, right? Now, just in case you want some stocks, you could come to asset recommendation, right? You click on compliant investments here. Then I believe you can see my screen, please. Now, under compliant investments, select Sharia compliant investments. You will see some stocks that are suitable for Muslim investors. So these stocks and ETFs that you see here, as a Muslim, you can invest in them. We put the Muslims into consideration, right? So that's it for the Sharia compliant mutual funds. Now, we are done with mutual funds. Let's look at other types of asset classes. We have commodities such as gold, such as silver, etc. I have a friend who he bought gold, right? He bought gold some years back and he's been holding it. Yes. If you are deeply involved in the agricultural space in Nigeria, you know there are many of the commodities that are sold in the market, such as cocoa, such as even Gary that you see here. You are mostly lucky that perhaps we are in the south here where they produce Gary in our backyard. For those of us who are not exposed to, such backyards where there's Gary, right? There are these middlemen, right? They buy the Gary from the farmers. Now it's these middlemen that control the price of the Gary. It's not the farmers themselves. So these ones now are investing in commodities. They buy the Gary, they wait for the price to go up as the case may be, then they sell. Yeah, that's it. So we also have cryptocurrencies for those that are interested. We have derivatives, now we have venture capitalism and private equity. VC is simply like stocks, but you are investing in the private sector. For stocks, the ones that we offer in AssessWorth currently, right? They are publicly listed companies in Nigeria that have PLC in the name, right? Or even the American ones that are publicly listed. Cryptocurrencies, we know them such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So basically, in conclusion, not to, because this is like an introductory session, right? Now you may want to ask, just in case, which one should you invest in? What should you invest in? Which stock should you buy? Which mutual fund should you buy, as the case may be? Because there are so many. So if your curiosity truly sparks you to ask such a question and you really want to make that move, you can always reach out to us. Yes, you can reach out to the AcadaBoo community. We are readily available to assist you. You can also reach out to Antigravity. You could reach out to AssessWorth. So as you can see, you have multiple communities and companies that are here to help you get started in your investment journey. So start investing now, especially for the students. Please do not miss this one. Every week, if possible, we showed you, just in case for the purpose of showing you again, come to this calculation. We did that one of 10,000 naira monthly. So let's say it's even 2,500 naira weekly. So every week you want to invest 2,500, right? For 5 years. And you believe that you can sustain a 25% interest rate. This 1.2, this is like 1.3 million. Investing 2,500 naira weekly for 5 years. So from your year one till you are done with school, you are investing 2,500 naira weekly. When you are done with school, 1.3 million is waiting for you. And this 25% is even when you are going for lower securities, such as money market funds, as the case may be. When you invest in stocks, for example, in GT Bank, we saw 32%. So just imagine, let's go to GT Bank again so you are seeing what we are saying. So here in GT Bank, look at it, observed effective yield, which is the observed annual compounding rate. What we mean by 5 years here is that we look at the average returns for the past 5 years, and we say that the average is 31.5%, right? So let's use this one now, like you're investing in a security such as GT Bank, right? Coming back to calculator, right? So currently you have 2,500, you'll be investing periodically, which is weekly. Weekly 2,500 again for 5 years at 31.5%, as the case may be. Do the calculation, see 1.6 million waiting for you. So what are you waiting for? Get started today. Investing is not for rich people. Investment helps you to become rich. Investment helps you to store your wealth. Investment is a good thing. So what are you waiting for? So yeah, Justina, everyone, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you were helped with this session. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to help you as much as I can. Thank you so much, Justina.
Thank you, Elijah. It's been a very, very wonderful session. But then I would want you to talk more about AssessWorth and all of its powerful capabilities. I mean, you've listed a couple of things that it does, but we want to know the major things it does. And then we just want to know what AssessWorth is all about in general. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So AssessWorth is your digital investment body. So let me give you one story, right? I was in a seminar some months ago, So the president of the school, it's a business school. The president of the school is also an investment advisor, such as myself. We all were talking about investing generally. So someone asked him, sir, what should I invest in? You've been mentioning stocks. Which stock should I buy, as the case may be? The man said it flat there, like he wasn't mincing words, he wasn't joking. He said that his rate is a minimum of 2 million because the reason why he's going that way is so that he will know that you are serious. First of all, 2 million. And now this is it. The investment generally, the knowledge of investment is so rare in Nigeria that even bankers, people who work in the bank, ask them, what should I invest in, which stock? They don't know. So last year when banks like Access Bank, GT Bank, etc., they were advertising, come and buy our stocks, come and buy our stocks. You ask this person, so are working in the bank, why should I buy the stock of your bank? Please buy it so that I can meet my quota, right? They don't know why you are buying their stock. AssessWorth is here to democratize that knowledge for you. Simply put, instead of going to pay 2 million to somebody, AssessWorth is here to give you everything that you need. First of all, we have the education. Mind you, this page is changing soon, but we have the education to keep you started. You see everything that you need to know about investments generally, right? AssessWorth can help you recommend some stocks for you. So like I showed you, I recommended some Sharia stocks to you. What if you want to know company fundamentals? Because we made mention that if a company makes a profit, you share in the profit. If a company makes a loss, you share in the loss. Therefore, you want to invest in companies that have been consistently making profits, right? Yes. So you could come to company fundamentals, select maybe steadily increasing profits. You see, all these companies are companies that for at least, look at it, for at least 3 years in a row, these are Nigerian companies that their profit has been increasing. Mind you, we did not say they just made profits. We say that their profits this year was greater than their profits last year. It's here. These are companies that will help you. If you are interested in the United States companies, it's the same thing. You see, or you want to know the companies that are consistently paying dividends for at least 3 years. These are United States companies that have not failed to pay dividends for at least 3 years, you see. So we can give you some recommendations. So now what if you've decided to go for GT Bank, Fidelity Bank, you also want Fitsin Health, you also want Dangote Cement. How will you, like combine all these stocks? Will you distribute your money evenly? AssessWorth is here to help you. Come to portfolio recommendation. Now, for us to recommend a portfolio to you, you need to give us the asset. So if you already have the asset, select allocate your own assets. However, if you do not know assets that you want, you could go for get asset recommendation. So for the purpose of this demonstration, let's click on get asset recommendation. So let's say you want 5 stocks, Nigerian stocks. So I don't want United States. So I unclick United States. I just want 5 Nigerian stocks. And mind you, when you are registering in AssessWorth, you will actually be asked some questions for us to gauge the type of investor that you are. But I do not want to use my investor type for now, so no selection. Now, there are different ways for us to make these recommendations to you, if you can see my screen. So you could go for the highest market caps. These are now the largest companies in each industry. When you go for the largest companies in each industry, you have this form of comfort because you are buying the stock of an industry key player, or you want companies that are steadily increasing profits. So maybe for the purpose of this demonstration, let's go for the largest market caps, right? Then get suggestions. So now these are the largest market caps. Mind you, for those of us who already have the knowledge of the investing, we will know that there's a company called Airtel Africa, that is Airtel, a competition to MTN. There's another company called BUA Foods. These 2 companies are larger than MTN in market capitalization. Now, we selected that we want companies that are the largest market cap. However, we are not seeing these companies here. The question is why? The simple reason is liquidity. AssessWorth will not recommend a company to you that it will be difficult for you to buy or it will be difficult for you to sell. Those companies, you have their stock, you are seeing returns, but time to sell, you may not see someone to buy from you. Or when you want to buy, you may not see someone to sell to you. So we remove those ones out for you and show you the ones that are right for you automatically, right? If you do not want anyone here, okay, so for example, for the purpose of our Muslim brothers, let us remove Nigerian brewery, right? So we have removed Nigerian brewery. So you can proceed. So let's construct a portfolio with these assets. Now you could either equally allocate these assets. This simply means that if you have 10,000 naira, your 10,000 naira will be shared to these 4 stocks equally, or you could give more weight to the largest assets. In this case, your 10,000 naira will be split in such a way that MTN will have the largest amount, then this WAPCO will have the lowest amount, as the case may be. Or you could use our AI. So AssessWorth has an AI that will look at everything and give you. So let's say if you go for equally allocate assets, for example, you'll be making a portfolio that will be expecting a return of 48% annually, a dividend yield of 9%, and a risk exposure of 43%. You could also change technique. So let's maybe go for largest assets, right? So this is it. If you are okay with this one, you click on view details, right? So you will see, so see here. So let's say you want to invest 100,000 here. So it's recommending invest 40,000 to MTN, invest 10,000 to WAPCO, as the case may be. You see MTN. So we give you recommendations. Now you've proceeded to buy these stocks, right? You've bought MTN, GTBank, Seplat, WAPCO, or for example, you bought MTN in Bamboo. You bought GTBank in Stanbic IBTC stockbroker. You bought Seplat stock in Afri Invest. So you've bought different stocks in different stockbrokers. How do you track all your investment at once? Simple. Come to the portfolio recommendation page. You can add this stock to your portfolio on AssessWorth. You can add it, even select the broker. AssessWorth will then proceed to show you all your stocks in one place, show you which of your stocks are making profits, which one is making a loss. Now, just in case we have some insights for you. So for example, I can select any specific portfolio, right? You want to see some insights. AssessWorth will show you. So this is an error you are seeing. We are saying that this portfolio is not meeting your expected returns. Sorry. We are seeing, some errors for this specific portfolio. However, it's still praising you that you have a good mix of industries in the portfolio. Sorry. All right. If in case you need more insights as well, right? You could see the effective yield of your portfolio. You could see your dividend, how much you've received in dividend, how much you are expecting. You could even scroll down and see some upcoming dividend. Currently there's no upcoming dividend. So you see your past dividends all in one place. In case you are a technical person, you want the statistics, click on view performance. You will see all your stocks. You will see the insights that you need. We don't want to inundate you. No needs for all these ones yet, right? So what we are simply saying is that AssessWorth is a one-stop shop. I showed you this investment hub where you can see different. So if you want to buy stocks, for example, AssessWorth will show you some places where you can buy stocks. If you want to buy ETFs, AssessWorth can show you some places where you can buy ETFs. If you want to buy commercial papers, it will show you some places where you can buy commercial papers, all in this investment hub. What about dividend corner? It will show you the upcoming dividends in Nigeria. We selected Nigeria. If you want the United States, you select United States. So these are upcoming dividends. You could go for past ones as well. Now, for this one, for example, we are saying custodian, or let me search for any popular company. So this is Presco, an agricultural company. Should you buy this dividend or not? It will show you everything that you need. So AssessWorth is your one-stop shop. It educates you about investments, tells you everything you need to know, gives you the insights in case you are searching for any stock, gives you recommendations. Now, when you buy any stock, it helps you monitor your stocks and a whole lot more. We have a community as well. So AssessWorth is simply here to democratize this knowledge of investment, to make it readily available for you and everyone else. Does that answer your question, Justina? Hello, Justina.
Yes, it does. It does. So there's a portfolio recommendation on AssessWorth, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's very nice. So I don't know. Moses Abba has a raised hand. Since Moses Abba, you can use the chat box if you have any question. The floor will be open later for you to ask direct questions. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here that I would like to ask you. So for my first question, it would be why should I sign up on AssessWorth? In other words, what makes it unique and different from its competitors?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so if we've been following up with news, for those of us who have CarryWise applications, I believe that most of us here we use CarryWise. They just announced that you can now buy stocks from them. Likewise, some of us may have Bamboo or AfriInvest or Chaka. You know, these are applications where you can buy stocks from, right? Yes. So the billion-dollar question is that what stock should you buy? Or you've seen any specific stock? Those insights that you are seeing there, what do they mean for you? Like, you know, so this is where AssessWorth comes into play. AssessWorth helps you to find the stocks. It's just like for those of no need to go into cryptocurrency. So AssessWorth is here to complement whatever investment app you think you already have. You buy stocks from the investment app, you do not know which one to buy. AssessWorth is here for you. So let's look at something like Nairametrics, for example. They give news about the stocks. So if you follow Nairametrics, every day you see the news for this specific company. How do you know how the price goes up or down, or the dividend yield in real time? So for example, when we come to GT Bank, you are seeing here, this dividend yield you are seeing here, if you check tomorrow, it may not be the same. Why? Because AssessWorth gives you information in real time. So for example, look at the returns of GT Bank according to the durations. So AssessWorth is not necessarily here to compete with Nairametrics or CarryWise as case may be. We're here to complement them for you or to complement you for them, however you want to see it, so that you can make investment decisions intentionally. So now you're asking, why should you come and register here? The only person that will do the work of AssessWorth for you, like I told you, said you should bring a minimum of 2 million naira. But here on AssessWorth, it is here 100 completely, it's readily available for you. So would you want to pay 2 million naira, or would you just want to log into a platform and get your insights? So it's totally up to you to decide, Justina.
Very nice. That is very nice. I think I'd rather just do the one I've logged in, not pay 2 million naira.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second question is what's the minimum amount I can start with on the platform?
Thank you so much. So AssessWorth, like we said, we are here to democratize investments. So democratizing simply means we want to make it readily available for everybody. However, there are some insights in the platform, considering how expensive, like the cost it took us to get these insights, they are not completely free. But when you register on AssessWorth, you have 3 months free trial. Now, after that, your free trial, there are 2 ways you can pay AssessWorth. There is this pay as you go. The quick pack is as low as 500 naira. So with 500 naira, you will get some credit units, around 625 credit units, where you can use it in the platform. The more you are using the platform, mind you, many features in the platform are free. It is only when you want to use the premium one. So for example, let's go to Fidelity Bank once again. Sorry, I lose reference this bank. So you are asking, should you buy this asset? When you click on it, there are 2 options. You either the platform either recommends it to you or an individual recommends it to you. So if you want the platform to recommend it to you, you see it here. So we'll show you some reasons why Fidelity Bank is a buy or a sell. So for example, this is a good, so Fidelity Banks is the performance is okay, the dividend yield is okay. However, the risk is quite high. You know, show you some reasons. So it is when you want these extra premium services, that's when you pay the 100 naira, like I showed you. Now, just in case maybe you think that you still want more, instead of paying 500 naira, you are a big boy, you are a big girl, as in case maybe you could go for as low as 10,000. So that's very cheap. Or you want to subscribe to the platform, right? You simply come to subscription and it's all here for you. So you can either do monthly or annually. So to answer your question, right? The minimum amount to get started is free. You have free trial, right? And you still have many features that are completely free for you. But just in case you want more, that's when your 500 naira cannot even buy meat pie today. That's when it stops handy. Justina.
Okay, that's very, very nice. Okay, my third question. For people who may only have small amounts to start with, how does AssessWorth make it possible to become investing without feeling locked out of the market?
Thank you so much. So if you have little to start with, let's say, for example, you are a student now. I was giving an example of students who will be investing 2,500 naira weekly. But if we are really sincere, some students, even 100 naira weekly will be difficult for them. So now this specific student, he has tried his very best and said that I will sacrifice so that I can be investing 3,000 naira monthly, 3,000 naira monthly. For such a student, AssessWorth is still very much handy for you. Just sign up into the platform. We will be giving you tips. You can even follow us on our social media. If you check our Twitter handle, LinkedIn handle, all at AssessWorth, right? At AssessWorth, whether LinkedIn, Twitter, as the case may be, you see educational insights, different ways for you to get started as an investor, right? You mustn't spend money at all. Coming to AssessWorth, when you search for any specific stock at all, right? Search for anyone. So let's go for MTN. When you search for MTN, all these insights you are seeing here, they are readily available for you. You're not paying for them. So if you have little to nothing, AssessWorth is telling you that we still have democratized investment insights for you free of charge coming. And just in case you still need those extra tips to get started, right? That is why you have to join the AssessWorth community. So when you register in the platform, we will invite you, right? So when we invite you in that community, you can be asking questions. Someone can help you, someone can guide you. So yes, for those who have nothing, we are still telling you that even so long as you want to sacrifice to get started, right? Your investment body, AssessWorth, is still readily available for you.
That, that's very nice. That is very, very nice because I was wondering if maybe I will break bank just to start. So, so that's nice. Okay, on to my next question. How does AssessWorth make investing easier for beginners and young people like me compared to using a stockbroker directly or versus your competitors?
Okay, thank you so much. Have you ever searched on I really wish that I could screenshot some conversations and show you these conversations. Like some of our customers, when we don't ask them, they just come and tell us that the reason they love AssessWorth is that AssessWorth gives them everything that they need. So I do not really want to mention any other brand, right? But when you have a stockbroker app and you search for a specific stock, right? You just see the price, you see the highs and the lows, and that's it. You see buy or sell. AssessWorth gives you everything aside from the price to tell you what you may expect, the risk involved, this price to earnings ratio you are seeing here, and this earnings per share you are seeing here, these are from the financials of the company, real time, readily available for you. I want to say that day before yesterday, I searched for Access Bank here in one very popular stockbroker. I searched for Access Bank, and I dare say that the EPS I saw in that stockbroker and the PE ratio that I saw, they were over 5 years old. Over 5 years old. So for those stockbrokers who focus on buying and selling to you, they focus on the fees they get. They do not want to educate you. Those are not the stockbrokers where you will get your insights. And for those of us who are, we are wealthy enough to have our own specific stockbroker, someone that will be carrying our instructions for us. Now we will tell these people, take this money, buy stock for us. These people will not make any research. They will find any stock that someone else wants to sell, then they buy that stock for us. AssessWorth is here to help you make better decisions so that you are not buying any stock ordinarily. Come to asset recommendations, for example. In this industry trends, right? We advise that people consider looking at insurance companies. For those of us who are, we follow the news, we know what happened last 2 weeks. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he signs the Insurance Act into law. What happened then is that all these insurance companies, their prices skyrocketed because we've seen it coming. So you need an advisor, right? And this is our edge over others. You need someone to give you personalized insight. So just see, watch my screen, please. You are not just seeing all the insurance companies here. You can now select based on your investor type. So let me say I want to select based on my active investor type. See, no one is suitable. Passive, no one is suitable, or semi-passive. We could also go for feeding the nation, which is agriculture, as the case may be. You see everything that you need. So we're not just giving you all the companies, say these are them. If you want to filter them to match you, they are here for you. AssessWorth is completely personalized. We even have AI to recommend to you, just in case you don't know what you are doing for. So yeah, Justina.
That's very nice. Okay, so right now we're going to open the floor to the audience. And for those who have their hands raised, I'm going to ask you to unmute and then ask your questions directly to Elijah.
Okay.
Peter, I saw your hand raised for my talk. Peter, yes. Please confirm you can hear me, my Peter.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, my question is on the AssessWorth platform, can I invest directly? Is there am I putting money there just for insight?
Okay. Thank you so. Yeah, I understand. Thank you so much. So AssessWorth as a company, right? Soon you'll be able to put money. However, for now, we are giving you the insights that you need to make better investment decisions. So whatever money you are putting in AssessWorth is not to buy stocks or to buy these ones. No, for now we don't sell to you. We help you make better decisions. However, pretty soon you'll be able to buy.
That's very nice. Thank you very much for that answer. Does the audience have any other question? I don't see any other raised hands. So we can move on to the next question we have on our list. Okay, moving on to my next question. So, one unique feature of AssessWorth is portfolio tracking. How does this help beginners understand whether their investments are balanced or too concentrated in one area?
Thank you so much. Let's come back to the portfolio tracking page, the portfolio recommendation page. So first things first, we have multiple ways for you to know. I really don't want to, bring too much information all at once. However, let's start with the simple charts, right? So looking at your portfolio, see this portfolio, look at this first chart you are seeing here. This one is generic industry. When you come to this second chart, this is services. So you are seeing the different sectors and you are seeing that all your assets for this specific portfolio, mind you, this is a test portfolio. For this specific portfolio, most of the assets are in unknown industry or generic. This is quite bad. You could also do it by asset type. So you are seeing that And this is the asset itself. You are saying that most of the portfolio is Shopify. So what this simply means that if Shopify, for example, should crash, it means that 54.2% of your portfolio might crash. So these are just, charts to help you get started. However, AssessWorth is still here to give you like information, spoon feeds you, if that's the words to use, right? So coming to, I showed you this one earlier, good mix of industries. So with 5 or more industries, your portfolio is well spread across different sectors. So had it been this portfolio, had all the assets in the portfolio, and maybe only one industry or only 2 industries, as the case may be, it would have told you. Now, for completely new investors, you may want to ask, why are the industries important? See one reason here. You have 1 million naira. You heard that GT Bank is doing well. You bought GT Bank. Then you heard that Wema Bank is doing well. You bought Wema Bank. Then finally you heard that Fidelity Bank is doing well. You bought Fidelity Bank. So you bought GT Bank, Wema Bank, and Fidelity Bank. All 3 of them are banks. Then all of a sudden, Zenith Bank, that is sorry, not Zenith Bank, the Central Bank of Nigeria, they find every bank, every bank. If you've been following the news, I think last week the news came out that UBA is to pay, I think, 4.5 million or 45 million or so because they locked someone's account. 2 weeks ago it was Zenith Bank. So the central bank now is angry. They find all the Nigerian banks that they will pay some billions. So investment analysts, they saw that because of these billions that all the banks are paying, it means that the stock of all the banks will go down. What happens to your portfolio? You have only banks in your portfolio. Therefore, your entire portfolio will go down. Had it been you had invested some of your assets in banking sector, some of your assets in the construction sector, some of your assets in the agriculture sector, what happens now is that in case the banks are going down, the agri sector is still okay. In case agri sector is going down, maybe because of one form of flu or the other, the construction sector is still up. Sure, you see, so that's why we diversify, and it's good. Now, just in case you do not want to be spoon-fed, you want to get the information yourself, you come to view performance. So in this view performance, sorry, these are quite technical. That is why I don't want to come here. However, we usually educate our users, right? So just for the purpose of this demonstration, there's asset correlation, there's market correlation. Asset correlation simply means how correlated are all your assets in your portfolio. So asset correlation usually when it ranges from -1 to +1. So as you can see, this 0.8 is like +1. It's very correlated. So what this simply means is that when one of your assets is going down, there is a chance that the other assets will go down. But I really don't want to go too deep into this now. Just, it's quite technical. So we give you all the information you need. If you want to be spoon-fed, it is there for you. If you want to analyze it yourself, it is also there for you. Yeah, Justina.
Yeah, that's very, very nice. That's very good insights. Okay, on to my next question. How does AssessWorth choose which specific investment securities to recommend to users?
Sorry?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. How does AssessWorth choose which specific investment securities to recommend to users?
All right. Thank you so much. Coming here once again. So when you see this one, for example, we are not necessarily telling you that your name is Elijah Rona, or sorry, your name is Justina, and today we are recommending this stock to you or for you. I really want to give this example, right? Search for any stockbroker of your choice. I will not mention name, but if you know any stockbroker, especially in Nigeria or in the United States, on social media, maybe Twitter or whatsoever, search for anyone. You will see that every week, maybe Fridays or Mondays, they will send you stock recommendations. They will send you recommendations. So they will not tell you why they are recommending these things. They are just, recommending it, buy, sell, hold. This is not what AssessWorth means. We are now in asset recommendation once again. You could invest based on company fundamentals. Company fundamentals is simply looking at the financials of the stock to forecast. Or you could invest based on the compliance. You know, we looked at Sharia, right? So for those of us who are Muslim, you could select compliant investment, select Sharia compliant investment. Now you see different stocks here. This Lotus Halal you are seeing here is an ETF, but it is suitable to Muslims. So we said that if you are a Muslim and you want to buy Muslim suitable assets, these are the assets for you. Or what about let's go for industry trends, right? In the United States, for example, if you select the United States, you will see that there's the rise of artificial intelligence. So when you select that option, you will see different stocks that are AI compatible, as the case may be. Coming back to company fundamentals once again, we are seeing consistent dividend payments. So you are seeing all the stocks and ETFs that pay dividends consistently. So we are not just telling you buy, then we do not tell you why you should buy it. You automatically know why you are buying. According to this one here, these are companies that have not failed to pay dividend at least once yearly for the past 3 years. Now, it is still up to you to filter these assets. So if you want to filter to match yourself, so this is when we do it. So we don't just recommend securities, say buy. You go to our front page, you see all the buys, you see all the sells. No, we show you why you should buy, why you should sell, and it can be personalized to and for you if that is what you want. Justina.
Yeah, very good one. Okay, so there's a question from Moses Abba. He said, "Hello, Elijah. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. Can I use AssessWorth to invest in US stocks and ETFs? Because I noticed that your presentation is mostly focused on Nigerian market."
Okay, thank you so much, Moses. So we give the example of Tesla. This is Tesla stock. You will see it. So Tesla stock, for example, has a dividend yield of 0. So if you scroll down, right, you can see some news. These are news. If the news is red color, it's a bad news. If it's green color, it's a good news. If it's white, it's neutral, right? See, no dividend history. Tesla does not pay dividends. You could search for Apple, right? This is Apple. You see Apple has a dividend yield of 0.45%, series, etc., etc. You see the dividend history of Apple. It's all here, how much they paid, etc. These are the news of Apple as well, right? We follow even Figma that just came on board, I think, for 2 weeks now. Figma is here for you, though we have limited information for it. You see everything that you want. Now we have something fun, something that I failed to show you. So search for Apple, for example, once again. You can compare stocks, right? So you can compare Apple now with, maybe you want to compare Apple with GT Bank. When you compare these two stocks, you see their price movements, the difference in their price. You see how suitable they are together. So we say they are moderately suitable. You will see their effective yield, their dividend yield, all listed out. When you scroll down, you could say if you have a portfolio that is 50% Apple and 50% GT Bank, right? The portfolio will have so percent in return, so percent in risk. You can change it at will. So maybe 70% GT Bank and 30% Apple. It's all here showing you. So yes, it's not just Nigerian stock. You know we are Nigerian, so I mostly talk about Nigeria, but for everything, and not just stocks. Is it QQQ? You know, these ETFs, they are here for you. Do you want these dividends? We have Vanguard dividend, we have the Schwab dividend. It's all here for you. So it's not just Nigerian stocks, Moses.
Moses, I hope your question has been answered properly with your satisfaction. So we also cover not just Nigerian market. Okay, so my next question is, AssessWorth is very big on financial literacy or education. Help explain all the shapes and forms through which this is being done.
Awesome. Thank you. Please, I implore you to search for AssessWorth on social media. If you have Twitter, just search for @AssessWorth. This is it here. AssessWorth. ASSESS Worth. you'll see how we educate our users. People really thank us a whole lot on Twitter. People ask us questions, we answer. If you sign up into the AssessWorth platform, in a day or two, you receive an invitation to join the AssessWorth community where you can ask questions and get insights on the go. We have this education page, right? Like I told you, this will be better very soon, right? Where you can have some courses to learn. Now, just in case you want to know when commercial papers are coming, or so you made mention you want to know for, I think it's Moses, or who asked the question if you can buy. So for now, you cannot buy on AssessWorth, but AssessWorth will show you where you can buy stocks. It will show you where you can buy mutual funds. It will show you where you can buy all these asset classes. Or if you want to know when a particular, or when a new, if you want to know when a new investment opportunity is coming. So for example, this is when Wema Bank, they did their rights issue. This is when Access Bank, they did a 21.5% commercial paper. If you want to get all these opportunities, it's here. So our financial literacy, we take it seriously. Is it from education, teaching? Is it from community? Is it from regular news updates? We are all here for you. And guess what? When you search for any specific stock, right? When you search for any stock, if there is any news, if there is news for that specific stock, right, you will see it like it's all here. For example, I showed you Tesla. So let's go back to Tesla, right? For this Tesla here, you are seeing different news. Now, this news is from Motley Fool. This news is from investing.com. I know investing.com is a very popular platform. Now, why should you go always search on investing.com if you know investing.com, it will give you all the news. It doesn't matter, right? If you're only interested in Tesla, you'll see everything. But on AssessWorth, it will give you the news specific to what is in your portfolio. So when you come to your portfolio page, right, you just scroll down once again. You'll see the news relating to assets in your portfolio alone. So this is for GT Bank, for example, right? This is for Access Bank. So when you come to GT Bank, see this news is red, so you know that something wrong is happening to GT Bank. When you come to Access Bank, this one is neutral because it's white, so you know that the news is just to know. So we give you all the news specifically to help you. So we do not just educate you, we do not just recommend, we do not just it is specific, it is personalized for and to you. Justina. Hello, Justina.
Sorry. Yes, I think I was cut off at some point. Okay, so talking about financial literacy, right? At the Antigravity Group, we are also big and very, very big on financial literacy, right? So we have this event coming up where we're looking at private investments like VC, venture capital, and private equity, in addition to publicly quoted investments that AssessWorth is looking into. So this is coming up soon. Wisdom, please share. Yeah, sorry, he's sharing the flyers soon. But that is also an event that is also coming up, just like all the investment parts that Elijah has been talking about. This event is from Isaac, and he will be talking about those specific parts: venture capital, equity, and also he's trying to share it. Okay, while he's trying to share, please, I hope Elijah is still on the call. On to my next question.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the call.
Yes, okay. Now it says AssessWorth provides personalized stock recommendation. How do these suggestions help new investors who may not know where to start?
All right, sorry, please, I'm sharing my screen once again, just in case. So in the portfolio recommendation, for example, when we say get asset suggestions, so let's say you want 10 assets. We'll give you different options. We'll tell you which one is best for you, right? We'll say best for regular income, best for careful investors. These are biggest companies in the market, best for risk takers, as the case may be. So if you are a new investor, well, you still need the knowledge. In as much as AssessWorth is here to democratize the knowledge for you, to give you everything that you need, right? You still need to learn more with our education and everything. Then we'll actually recommend all these recommendations you are seeing here. They are actually sorted from least risky to the most risky, as the case may be. So you could look at the largest market capitalization, which are the largest companies in the industry. So when we want to look at MTN, like we gave earlier, we want to compare MTN and Smile. So we say the Nigerian government, it is forcing every telecom company to pay 1 billion annually. Between MTN and Smile, which one do you think will survive? It is MTN, right? Because Smile is, sorry for the comparison, just in case there's conflict of interest, just an example. So these largest companies per se, they are better suited to mitigate risk. So, those volatility per se. So for new investors, take our education very seriously. And when we make all these recommendations, know specifically why we are making these recommendations for you. And that's just it.
That's very nice. Okay, so my next question is, tell us about the new interface you are building for the platform. What should we be expecting versus the existing one we have right now?
Okay, thank you so much. So this platform that you are seeing currently, this AssessWorth platform you are seeing here, we just use the principle of, let something exist first, right? It is when it is existing, you make it better. So because we just needed to make it exist, so that's why perhaps you may be seeing the UI, maybe it's not the best out there, right? However, what we are bringing currently will be the best platform you can ever see when it comes to investment advisory service, UI wise. So we want to be a blast when it comes to UI. It's readily available, not just for the platform, now web app, but even the mobile app is also, they are also coming. All mobile friendly, all UI friendly. They will blow your mind away when it comes to UI. And you will get these investment insights that are meant to overwhelm you. They will just be very, very simple to understand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I just hope, even if my subscription, my 3 free months has expired, I would definitely subscribe just to see this new interface that's coming because I wouldn't want to miss out on it.
Thank you.
Okay, now, yes. So, and then on my next question, what do you see AssessWorth 3 to 5 years from now?
It's very simple. AssessWorth will be the brand's name when it comes to investment advice. And what do I mean by that? When someone tells you to go and buy noodle, I don't think I've ever heard any Nigerian say, I'm going to buy noodles. They're always saying I'm going to buy Indomie. Even if it's not Indomie they are going to buy, they may be buying something that maybe mini me, as the case may be. Or I've never heard any Nigerian say, go and buy me pen. And yeah, maybe some say pen. But do you know that time Biro is actually a brand name? What about Maggie? Go and buy Maggie, but they end up bringing No, and Maggie is a brand. AssessWorth will position ourselves in 3 to 5 years time to come in such a way that when any company whatsoever is advising people to come and buy their shares, the first question that the people will ask is that what does AssessWorth think about this company? Or when a specific company now, if you are following the news, you'll be hearing all these companies that are announcing hundreds of billions in profits. You'll be seeing billions and billions in profits. The investors, considering that they now see what is happening with these companies, they'll ask these companies, you are saying you are bringing hundreds of billions in profits, but we're not seeing it in the dividends. What is happening? Why are you not paying dividends? Or why is your stock price not increasing? So our Nigerian companies, they have it too simple. Why? Because the public do not know what questions to ask. So when AssessWorth continues to educate and give you everything that you need to know, right, you'll be asking those companies the right questions. So AssessWorth is here, right, to be a brand name when it comes to anything investment, especially so long as knowledge is concerned. AssessWorth will be that signature in your brain. Thank you.
That's very nice. That's very nice. I mean, that is like seeing ahead of the future. That's creating a brand for yourself, and that's a very, very good one. Okay, so on our financial intelligence TV, yes, just like we've shared here, the it's titled Connecting the Dots, Risks and Returns Across Asset Classes, right? Where we are going to be talking about fixed income, treasury bills, notes, loans, bonds, convertibles, right? Elijah just gave a brush, if I put it like that, of what these things are. Now, this series or this particular session gives is going to give you a deeper dive into understanding them. Just like me, I know there are stuff like treasury bills, but then I don't really know what they are, right? And then it's going to talk about equity, it's going to talk about derivatives, commodities, and real estate. And also specials, and specials are coming, which is like FX and cryptos, because a lot of us does not really understand what cryptocurrency is all about, right? And I hope this session has been very, very enjoyable because I've actually learned a lot, right? As of some days back, I was not able, I was just wondering what stock am I going to go for? And that's what actually recommended Dangote Cement, which I actually had to like put my money into. But Assess what is actually here to stay. And just like Elijah said, it's going to be a household name, right? Before you make any investments, you're going to wonder what is Assess what saying. And I hope that you're able to join our next session, which is on the 28th of August. I can't wait to have you all join us and learn more about investment. Thank you for joining and have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you, Justina. Thank you,
Thank
everyone. Bye.
you. Thank you, Elijah.
Thank you. Thank you, too. This is really wonderful. Wow.